Hello. So just so everybody's aware, we are recording this session. All right, well, why don't we go ahead and get started? Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. My name is Kathleen Morgan from the chemistry department, and I'm here with two other members of our build team, Dr. Cecily DeFries from biology and Miss Amy Bilazon, who's our program manager. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. DeFries.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today as we give you some information on a research opportunity that we have at Xavier, the Building Infrastructure Leading to Diversity, or the BUILD program, otherwise known as Project Pathways.
See, I've got so many windows open. I'm trying to make sure. There we go.
When it comes to the BUILD program, what we essentially are promoting is going to be research among students, and specifically biomedical research. And so what you might be wondering is, what is biomedical research and how can I possibly get involved with research on Xavier's campus, and specifically in the BUILD program itself? And as you see on the slide, we have the names of individuals, the PIs who are on the actual BUILD team, Dr. Farrugia and Dr. Morgan, and then individuals who are part of the student training corps, Dr. Morgan, Dr. Johansson, myself, and Ms. Bilazon. So we work a lot with the students who are being trained in the BUILD program.
So Xavier's BUILD program is funded by the National Institutes of Health as part of what's called the Diversity Programs Consortium. And so we work with other institutions around the country to promote undergraduate research and enhancing diversity in the biomedical research workforce. And so that's what our goal is. And that's what the DPC is trying to do. And in this picture, we have Dr. Peyton Stewart working with one of our former BUILD students.
All right. And so to start, what is research overall, right? And so what it is it's a systematic approach in which we are trying to gain further understanding of a particular subject that we're interested in. And the goal of all research is essentially creation of new knowledge and understanding of various phenomena in the universe. There are many different types of research. BUILD in particular is focused on biomedical research, which has a specific focus on research related to solving health-related problems that individuals might have. And so when it comes in terms of careers in research in biomedical field, you can see we have biochemists, cancer biologists, chemists. We have various atmospheric and space scientists, public health scientists, and psychologists. There's many, many different fields. And so you might have said, well, you were saying BUILD focuses on biomedical research. And it's actually true, we do. There are individuals who are environmental scientists, though, who study parts of the environment that affect human health. And so that would still fit under the umbrella of BUILD in terms of that. So it's not always just, cancer studies. There's a lot of different ways in which research basically covers or investigates impacts on human health. And that's the goal of BUILD overall. When it comes to undergraduate research, as with other things in life, there's going to be benefits and challenges that will occur. So some of the benefits with undergraduate research, we know here at Xavier, we're a heavy pre-med school, right? A lot of students come in with the focus of going on to medical school or even pharmacy school. But one of the things that you can identify by performing undergraduate research is perhaps other career options that will allow you to actually help people in a different way than as a physician or a pharmacist, but nonetheless help them with health-related issues. Additionally, you're going to gain some skills that are highly transferable and sought after, such as project management, time management, which is very key because you'll have to balance your research work as well as your courses and all of your studies. You'll learn technical writing and presentation skills, which are all can be used for many different careers. And when you are able to say that you have mastered those types of skills, it actually looks very good on your resume. Next thing you'll learn is what is the research process, right? How does it work and how do researchers go about solving problems? That's another benefit. And I experienced this firsthand as an undergraduate researcher. When you're in the lab, you gain a better understanding of the subject matter that you're actually learning in the class because you get more hands-on time with it. And you get to learn new things and provide knowledge to the world as a whole that didn't exist before. So you're creating new understandings of things, which is kind of exciting, at least I think so. So in terms of challenges, right? We said that there were both. Some of the challenges, identifying the research program that matches your interest or your future goals. Sometimes maybe the program that you work with isn't 100% match. But remember those skills that you're learning, such as project management, time management, that will be useful regardless of which research project you start off on. It'll be useful for the future. Also choosing the right mentor for you, right? Everybody isn't a good match in terms of mentor training. And then lastly, being able to balance research and coursework. And that's one of the things that Build and other research programs on campus actually will assist you with is meeting those challenges. For example, in terms of choosing the right mentor, when you enter Build, we have a mentor matching process that we heavily stress. And so that gives you the opportunity to investigate different mentors and their research and also sort of gain a little bit of an understanding of their personality before you make that final decision that you'd like to work with them.
I have a question. Oh,
Good.
so like you said, with the mentor matching, is it the same thing with the research program? Like, do you have a matching where you'll help us choose the right program for us?
Well, we're primarily focused on the Build program, and I think part of it is the Kurgo office knows more about the variety of different research programs on campus. And you can find out about the different programs from the Kurgo office or the people running the various programs on campus. And we would be happy to talk with you about that, offline to get into some more specifics when that comes up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention here. I think when research is I guess you're not even sure what you would do. That can be kind of intimidating. Wow, this sounds really cool, but I don't have any ideas. I don't know what I would do, but I want to do it. That's really common. And in chemistry and biology in particular, the students don't generally come up with their own research ideas. They usually find a faculty mentor who's working in an area that the student will find interesting. And so you meet with the faculty advisor to come up with a project based on what's already going on in the lab. So in chemistry and biology in particular, you just kind of fit into the lab as it's already going. And as you get involved in the project, you see what the new questions are, and you can start to guide the project on your own. In some other fields, like especially in psychology, the students are more focused on coming up with their own ideas. So it's really kind of discipline dependent, but the fact that you wouldn't know where to begin doesn't mean you can't do it. There's a lot of guidance to help you find a project to work on.
And so now that we have you fired up about research, and I know you're interested, you may be wondering, well, how can I learn more about the opportunities at Xavier? So we have various resources on campus. We have the Center for Undergraduate Research and Graduate Opportunity, the Office of Career Services, and the Student Academic Success Office. And these are very good departments for assisting you with career advising. They give assistance with personal statements and also creating your curriculum vitae or resume. They have various parties where they do applications to summer programs where they invite everyone to come in and apply as a group. So, you know, there's always, what am I trying to say? Oh, benefit to numbers. That's it. It makes it a happier process, basically less painful. And then also assistance with applying to graduate school and GRE prep. And a lot of these opportunities, again, you do not have to be in a research program to take advantage of them, but they are part of various research programs on campus, including BUILD. We ask our students to take advantage of those opportunities as well. And then also a Grad Star program, which is the opportunity to begin research at a much earlier stage in your career, as early as freshman, if you contact them to get involved. And we have the department heads for each. It's Dr. Jennifer Good for Kurgo, Miss Tracy Jackson for Office of Career Services, and Dr. Nathaniel Holmes for SASO.
And I'd like to emphasize one thing that Dr. DeFries said. Whether or not you're part of a research program, the resources at these offices are available to all students on campus. So they're for everyone. And no matter what your career goals are, there's something there for everyone.
So how do you find out about these opportunities? Kurgo will publicize them as well as the other offices. When they have workshops and seminars, they will announce them in the weekly Xavier email newsletter. I know everyone who is on this call opens that email and reads it thoroughly, but that's actually where they're posted. You'll also sometimes get them through the resource centers or your professors as well. And again, these workshops and seminars are open to all students, so please make sure you take advantage of them. Some examples of what, again, they do: personal statement development, establishing an exit plan. So basically it's, I'm ready to graduate. How am I going to get that final step? And what are my goals that I need to accomplish on the way? So I mentioned to you the program called Grad Star. That's a relatively new program within Kurgo. In this program, you're going to have freshmen that will be, or at the freshman level, you're introduced to graduate school, what they sort of expect of you and what they require for admission into graduate school. These students are given summer research projects that they're advised on. And they are also basically followed all the way through their senior year as they go and matriculate towards and begin the process of applying to graduate school. Now, Grad Star is for all majors. So regardless of whether you're in chemistry, public health, neuroscience, biology, you can actually participate in this program. And the director of Grad Star is Miss Caitlin Dupat, and she's in St. Joe's. And again, she is a part of the Kurgo office. Other research opportunities that we have on campus are going to be the McNair, LS LAMP, and NASA programs, in addition to BUILD. And again, these are just some of the research opportunities that we have on campus. You do not have to be aligned with a program in order to perform research with a professor on campus, or even with professors at local universities such as Tulane and LSU. There is an opportunity to do research without being aligned with a specific program.
Yeah, I think that's actually very common. More than half of the research students I've had haven't been on a program. So oftentimes you can still participate. You might get funding off of your faculty member's grant, or you might be working through a capstone course or something like that. So there are many opportunities outside of programs, which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in terms of BUILD, how can you get started? Well, we have opportunities at all classifications. So for with respect to BUILD shadowing, which is a program where students who are not in research will essentially sort of follow along, or you've probably heard of physician shadowing. It's a similar concept, but you would be following along with an undergraduate researcher who's currently working in a lab on campus or with one of our local partner institutions. And as you follow along with them, you would learn their everyday sort of routine in the lab. You could ask them about their project. You could learn about how they do their work, what types of techniques. And you could also ask them, how do they balance, right? This is a good time to ask a student in the program, how do you balance the demands, or what is it that you like about the program? Those are all good things to know. And again, that's open to freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, so that everyone can basically get an idea of what research is at any stage. With respect to attending seminars, workshops, and applying for summer research programs, those are going to be open to freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And then seniors, while you're not able to apply to summer research program, you could apply for a build technician position. So that after you graduate, again, you would work with either a researcher, usually a researcher on Xavier's campus, and it would be a full-time job where you gain further experience working as a research associate, learning how to design a project, the ins and outs of day-to-day lab work and managing your time. And that's designed to prepare you to get ready for graduate school. So if you're coming in late, maybe to the idea of graduate school, that's an opportunity to give you more hands-on experience so that you're more comfortable with that type of work. And then if you're applying to the build program itself, in order to be a research student, you can apply as a sophomore or as a junior in order to be a part of the build research program itself.
So the build research program for sophomores and juniors and the build technician program, those are the only ones where we have a selection process. Everything else is open for anybody who's interested. But to become a build research student or a build technician, we do have an application process, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
As we go through each of the different opportunities, the first is going to be biomedical shadowing or undergraduate shadowing. And again, anyone who is a biomedical major is eligible to participate in undergraduate shadowing events. So that includes bioinformatics, data science, even sociology majors. That is a major that can participate in shadowing. What will happen again is we will have a form that you will fill out that will give your, you'll provide your basic research interest, and we will do our best to match you with students who are currently performing research in the build program or other on-campus undergraduate researchers if need be. Applications for the process are going to be due October 15th. And then we will hold shadowing October 25th through November 12th. And just so that you would know where you would be shadowing or who you would be shadowing with, we will announce the schedule for that on October 22nd. So you'll get you would apply by the 15th, obtain information on the 22nd, and actually perform the shadowing the 25th through the 12th.
Okay, any questions? And you can use that QR code. It should be live right now. But we're also going to distribute this on the weekly newsletter. So you can look for it there if you're not getting it now.
Okay, now for the training program. This is biomedical shadowing. Anyone can apply, right? And anyone can participate. Like Dr. Morgan said, for the research training program, you can apply, and then we have a selection process to find those students who are best fit for the program based on their goals. And so in terms of those who can or who are eligible to apply, current sophomores and juniors with a biomedical major, this is very important. You must be a US citizen or a permanent resident in order to apply to the build program. That's not from us, that's actually a part of the NIH grant statement itself. When we do the application process, they will have a few parts. We will take a look at your personal statement. You'll provide us with grades and then the names of faculty members who will provide evaluations. The faculty don't need to provide letters. We just need the names of your evaluators on the application. Once we have the applications in, we will choose candidates in which we will interview. Those that are chosen will begin research activities in the summer, and you'll begin to receive the monthly stipend at that time. Now, in the spring before summer, we do have a few events. One of them is, of course, the mentor matching event. That's to, again, assist you in identifying the best fit for your mentor. So just be aware there's a few activities in the spring before the summer starts, but it really gets going that next summer. And then when you are starting back into school, you'll do roughly 10 to 15 hours a week of research. And research can be work at the bench. You will have to read journal articles. And then there's certain things that are required for the build program, like a meeting, right? And all of that factors into those 10 to 15 hours. And then lastly, if you're not graduating, you can apply to participate for a second year and potentially have a stipend and possible tuition support. Now, for the Build Research Training Program, applications are going to be due November 19th, and we will provide a link to the application by October 25th.
So as Dr. DeFries said, so this is the program where you would apply and you would get matched with a faculty mentor, and you would be working on a research project to do research. And the students that we select, it's actually a pretty long selection process. You would start the process in November, and you would start the program if you're selected in the summer with a few little activities in the spring. We're not exactly sure how many students we can accept this year. It kind of depends on the current students and whether they're going to apply to continue for a second year or not, or whether they're graduating. And so roughly a dozen to a dozen and a half students will be selected this year to start next summer. Okay, any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Go
So the researcher you may be paired with, does that only include those who do research that are on your list, or all faculty?
So that's a good question. So the research mentor needs to be in a biomedical department. If it's somebody at Xavier, we probably know the person, they're probably already in our mentor pool. But we do need to check out new mentors and make sure that they're aware of what the program is and the program goals and expectations. So more or less, we're willing to work with students to find a mentor that will be a good fit.
Mhm.
So we don't have a certain yes and no list. We have a yes list that's constantly growing.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, ma'am.
And so speaking of potential mentors, we typically have our mentors at Xavier, but we've also have local partner institutions, LSU and Tulane universities, where we have had mentors based in the past as well. So again, if you identify someone who works there and has research that's in biomedical nature that you would like to consider, again, like Dr. Morgan said, we could speak with them and see if they would understand sort of how the program works. And there are different areas of research. You know, we've said biology, chemistry, but there's actually quite a bit, right? There are researchers who work on aging. They work with molecular biology or pharmacology in psychiatry. So truthfully, the types of research that are available to you are very wide, different branches of biomedical sciences. So we typically are able to place students in a research lab that matches or closely matches their future goals and aspirations and what they're interested in.
All right. Well, that is the end of our show. So, so we encourage you to take advantage of all the different things that we talked about, from the activities at Kurgo, Office of Career Services, SASO, that are open to everybody. And then we encourage you to participate in the research shadowing so you can kind of get an idea of, is this something I want to do? I don't even know what it is. Will this be fun for me? Will this be rewarding? And for those of you who decide that this it's really something intriguing to you, then please do apply to be into the Build Research Program if you are currently a sophomore or junior.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many applicants do you all typically receive?
We usually get around 50 applicants a year.
I actually have a question as well. So if I'm technically classified by credits, like as a junior, but I'm not graduating until 2024, would I still have the years of my, like this year I'm classified as a junior and next year I'll be classified as a senior. Would I still be able to apply next year with that classification, given that I'm not graduating until the 2024 mark?
Yeah, as long as you haven't graduated, then you're eligible to be on the program.
Okay, thank you.
I also have a question. How should we pick our evaluators? Like, should we have an idea of like, should we pick a faculty member or maybe someone who can speak on our work ethic in class or something like that?
That's a great question. We do like to see one of the recommendations from somebody who knows you fairly well, for example, a lab professor, because you see them every week and you talk to them quite a bit. And I think the second recommendation is a little bit more broad. So, just two people who you feel like would be able to speak to your strengths and weaknesses and how this program would help you achieve your career goals.
Okay, and another question is, would you recommend like looking into some subjects of research beforehand, or should we kind of wait until we might get into the program and then during the matching process, we'll be able to get that information?
Well, that's another great question. So that's a very personal choice. I think, you're always welcome to explore what types of research you might want to do. And, whether you're part of Build or whether you're part of another program or working just individually with a faculty member, that's always going to be beneficial. And if you're eager to get started in research now, rather than wait till the summer, let's say at the earliest, if you were selected for the program, that's okay. You could match with a faculty member on your own. And if you both agree that that's a good fit, you could continue if you get selected for the program. But if you decide, well, that's not really what I want to do anymore, you're welcome to change. So we do take students who have some research experience, though it's not expected at all. And most students haven't had any research experience. But if you're eager to get started, you don't have to wait for this program. You can, work on your own to find a placement.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your answers.
Are there any other questions?
I have a question. So I tried to scan the QR code for the application on my phone and it just says that it's no longer accepting responses.
Oh,
So
darn it. Okay, well, thank you for letting us know. We will fix that.
Yes.
We'll get that sent around. So thanks, Randall. We'll make sure everybody has that. And our plan is to have this go through the weekly Xavier newsletter. But if you can't find it, you can send me an email and I'll make sure you get it.
okay, thank you.
I think what happened is we had planned to do things a little earlier, but then we had the storm and probably we didn't change the Google.
Date on the code.
So yeah, just lots of details. We'll fix that. That's pretty easy.
And for the personal statement, is there any way we can kind of like, is that just like why we want to do research type of personal statement?
Yeah, so for this program, what we're trying to find out is why would you want to participate in the program? What do you think it will help you discover about yourself and your potential career? And why would you be a good fit for a research training program?
Okay, thank you.
And it's
again.
okay if you don't know, say, well, I'm curious about it. And just be honest about it. If for the students that we interview, we're usually able to find out a fair amount about genuine interest versus what they just write on the form because they think it's going to look good. So just, you need to be honest and open, and the fact that you may not be sure is okay.
Okay. Well, I suppose that does make sense. I thought that it was like something like you want a personal statement like that we would submit to medical school or something of that nature.
Well, we do want to know a little bit about you and your current goal is, or if you're trying to decide between a couple things, what are they, and how would this program help you make that decision?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So how many students are assigned to a specific professor or research project?
Ooh, that's highly variable.
Yes, so we don't overload the professors, right? Because we want, the whole goal of the program is for you to be very highly mentored. And there's an upper limit on how successful people can mentor you. But there are professors that have more than one student in their lab, right? And it makes sense that they would, because they're able to accommodate and work with the students. But like Dr. Morgan said, that's, the number will depend upon the professor.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the presentation. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks for coming. And we will be
And,
posting this eventually on our the Build website, and you're welcome to watch it there or refer your friends. And at the same time, if you have questions, please feel free to send me or Dr. DeFries or Miss Amy Billazon or Dr. Johansson. We're all available to answer questions.
Okay, will do. Y'all take care.
Okay, thank you.
I have another quick question.
Sure.
Will the application link in the virtual, or not virtual shadowing, but the in-person shadowing be posted on the Build website for the Zula page or just the weekly newsletter?
Good question. So we've got a relatively short turnaround here, so I'm not sure if it will make it onto the website. We can try for that, but if you can't find it, send me an email and I can get it to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Sure. And actually, I see somebody has joined our call. Ms. Reyes here, who is our communications specialist, and she can probably answer that question.
Yes, the link will be available on the website. We are about to undergo a migration process, so I need to tell our website specialists to add that link as soon as possible. So we'll make sure that we have it on there for you guys, so that way it's still there once the migration is complete. But it will also be on the website that you'll be able to view now.
Good timing.
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a great evening. Thank you.
Thanks
you
for
for
coming,
coming.
everyone.
Bye-bye. I have a quick
Bye.
question, actually.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Jillian.
Is there a character limit on our personal statement, or I guess with the application, or is it just we can just write as long as we need to?
I think we've set a limit before.
Okay, I was just curious. I know that
Yeah.
sometimes the pre-med office gives us one that, and I was just I wanted to make sure.
Right. Sure.
Have a good day.
Is there like a certain number of people you all are accepting?
So there's different parts of the program. So for different parts, there's different numbers.
Okay.
So I actually don't know much about Build. I remember I asked
Okay.
I asked my organic chemistry professor if she was doing any research and if she was accepting any students. And she said that she had just reached her capacity, but she recommended the Build program. I hadn't got around to
Okay.
doing any research on the program, but this all happened literally last week on Friday, actually. So it had only been over the weekend. And then all of a sudden on my Brightspace, I have biology teachers, chemistry teachers, and I think my statistic teacher also posted about the presentation y'all were having.
Oh, good. Good. So perfect timing, right?
Right.
So that's the whole purpose of this presentation, is that we'll tell you a little bit about what biomedical research is, broadly speaking, and then with more specific information about the Build program that we run and how to get involved.
Okay.
So that's cool. So are you a sophomore this year?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually a transfer student, so this is my first year on this campus. But I think I'm a sophomore standing because I have 5 more semesters remaining.
Okay, well, welcome to Xavier. I hope you're having an okay semester despite the rocky start.
Thank you, ma'am. And yeah, I'm actually doing just fine, even with the start having being as it was. I'm actually doing quite fine.
Glad to hear that.
I have one last question.
Go ahead,
So-
Destiny.
For the professor evaluations, would that be more of a verbal recommendation that the professors would give, or should we request them to write a few sentences since it won't be a letter?
We have a little form for them to fill out where it's, they check boxes and there's a few short answers. So they're kind
Okay.
of relatively specific questions. So they probably don't need to write anything ahead of time. It's the type of thing that as long as they know you reasonably well, they could complete it in 5 minutes, I'd like to think.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right,
Okay, then.
right.
So that's it for us again. Well, thanks for coming, everyone, and we'll see